two dice are rolled 4 times, and the sums of their scores are 2, 3, 6, and 9. Then the dice are rolled twice more. If the new mean score sum was 6 and the standard deviation of the score sum was square root of 10, find the values of the last score sums. Hence, find the range and the interquartile range of the distribution of the score sums. So we don't know what the last two score sums were. So we can start by saying that, well, letting them to be x and y. So we can say let the values of the last score sums be x and y. And we know that the mean of these score sums is 6, which means if we add all these score sums, the average should be 6. And that implies that, well, if you add all those numbers, you're going to get 20 plus x plus y over 6 is equal to 6. Or you can just say x plus y will be 36 minus 20, which gives us 16. So y will be equal to 16 minus x. There's a reason why I'm writing it in that form, because at some point I suspect we'll be required to substitute this to be able to find the values of x and y. The next thing that you're told is that the variance is square root of 10, so we can just go ahead and calculate the variance. Now, to calculate the variance, we need to subtract the mean from each of these scores. So 2 minus 6 squared plus 3 minus 6 squared plus 6 minus 6 squared plus 9 minus 6 squared plus x minus 6 squared plus y minus 6 squared. All this over 6 should be equal to square root of 10 squared, which is equal to 10. So because you're given the standard deviation, which is square root of 10, to get the variance, you square that. Anyway, so we can now carry on with solving for x and y. So if we simplify those squares, we shall end up with that will be 16 plus 9 plus 9. So this will be equal to 16 here plus 9, that will be 0, so plus 9 plus x minus 6 squared plus y minus 6 squared, and this will be equal to, we can multiply 6 by 10 to end up with 60. All right, now probably yeah, let's just finish this off. So we'll have x minus 6 squared plus y minus 6 squared will be equal to 60 minus 16 minus 9, which will give us 26. Now, this is where we need to make that substitution of plugging that there so that we can be able to end up with an equation in terms of x. So what we shall end up with here is x minus 6 squared plus 16 minus x minus 6 squared is equals to 26. And this will simplify to x minus 6 squared plus 10 minus x squared is equals to 26. We can now just FOIL this. So x squared minus 12x plus 36, and then here we have 100 minus 20x plus x squared is equals to 26. If you bring everything to the left, hold on, I missed something. Yeah, okay. So if you bring everything to the left and simplify the resulting expression, you'll end up with 2x squared minus 32x plus 110 is equal to 0. And this is same as x squared minus 16x plus 55 is equals to 0. Factorize that, we have x minus 5, x minus 11 is equals to 0. So either x is equals to 5 or x is equals to 11, which implies that using our expression in terms of x and y will be equal to 5 or y will be equal to 11. And we just need the two numbers. So the two numbers are 5 and 11. So which means that the scores are just write this properly. The scores are, we have 2, 3, 5, 6, 9, and 11. Now, what the question is asking us is to find the interquartile range of the distribution and the range. So first of all, we can start with the range. The range is just 11 minus 2, which is equals to 9. Now, to find the interquartile range, we have to find the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Now, the lower quartile is the median of the lower half of data, the median of the lower half of the data. Yeah. So what I mean by lower half here is this is the lower half and this is the upper half. So you can see here that the lower quartile here is basically the median of the lower half, which is 3. And the upper quartile is the median of the upper half of the data. Now, if you look at this data here, we can see that the upper quartile is 9. Now, the interquartile range is basically upper quartile minus lower quartile. So interquartile range is upper quartile minus lower quartile, which here will be 9 minus 3, which will be equal to 6.